Dying Light 2 is now set to release February 4th, 2022. This game has been pushed back a couple of times, and I know the gamers are ready for this game to drop. If you don't know about Dying Light, well, all I can tell you is that you are missing out. Techland has upgraded the whole experience from the predecessor Dying Light. In this video of Dying Light 2, I want to touch on 5 fun facts about this game that you may not know about as we approach the proclaimed release of the game. I'm your host, Mr. Unleashed, and I'm back again. Remember to subscribe for more game information and game reviews on your favorite games. Don't forget to hit one of those engagement buttons, and welcome to Mr. Unleashed World. There are 3 different factions in Dying Light 2 that have different agendas and will try to persuade you to help them. The 3 factions in this game are Peacekeepers, Renegades, and Survivors. There are benefits to helping each faction as you progress through the game. Your decisions can either be beneficial to all or just to that group. Let's break down what each group represents. Peacekeepers are former soldiers that are determined to bring law and justice as they see fit as the world moves towards the future. They are trained fighters, aggressive and organized, so be careful. Next is the Renegades. Renegades are the ex-cons of the once normal world, and now they are a group that are led by the Colonel. This faction will be hard to get along with, so I imagine this will be a difficult faction to work for in this game. Sort of like the big antagonist in the first Dying Light, Reyes. They are located at the pumping station of the city. Then we have the Survivors. To me, Survivors are the only faction that wants to keep peaceful life going and adapt to reality on the rooftops. This faction seems to be the one that really needs your help. Is there one main faction that would benefit you the best? We don't know at this time. It will be up to the player to find out. We have new infected in this game, and Techland decided to give us a cycle of how the infected become monsters. This is very neat and detailed, and I want to shed some light on this. So starting with a freshly bitten human, who is categorized as a viral. They are fast and avoid the sun. Next stage will be a biter. This is pretty much self-explanatory. These types of infected are slow and will try to grab you. I assume these are the everyday infected we will encounter more than the rest. The horizontal stage a viral can achieve is a volatile. The volatiles are the infected that are running at you full force and are very annoying from my experience in playing Dying Light. The developers say, depending on your agility tree, you can avoid the volatiles. So you know as a player in the beginning of the game, you might have to do some fighting against this type of infected. The last 2 cycles are drowners and revenants. From the description of a revenant shown here, they are going to be a problem. Moving on to fun fact number 3. Techland added a little addition to the game features and giving us the ability to restore buildings. That's right, abandoned buildings can be restored and given to a faction of your choosing. These buildings can provide schools, training sites, and more. On top of that, upgrading buildings will unlock new vendors and challenges. This is a big upgrade from the previous Dying Light and supports the Dying Light theme of life starting again. Restoration of the buildings and handing them out to factions definitely put emphasis on the different routes that can be taken in the main story and in the game as a whole. Decisions in Dying Light 2 is a big part of the game and very different from Dying Light 1. And these decisions come in 3 different forms. First set of decisions are the choices made to the main storyline of the game. These are big choices and can impact how the overall game unfolds. The next layer of choices are for the quests within the game. This affects how the mission turns out in the game. I wonder how much weight a decision will hold for these types of choices. Last set of choices is the city alignment choices, and these choices impact which faction get what building from Aiden. These choices are also very important to consider because each faction gives Aiden certain perks when a building is granted to them. There is something new coming to Dying Light that wasn't in the previous game. Sit down for this. Microtransactions is supposedly come to Dying Light 2. That's right. Microtransaction has made its way to Techland. Microtransactions can be a hit or miss, so it's hard to know how it will affect the game. But I do want to say that having a customized skin or outfit could be a pretty cool implementation to the game, especially playing multiplayer, because you can get to show off your new clothes or character depending on what Techland are allowing people to buy. I do not like the idea of buying new weapons through microtransactions because I am pretty sure these weapons will take from the Dying Light experience. The weapons that you buy on microtransactions are very overpowering most of the time. I don't think it's fair to have the option to buy a weapon with real money to use against a boss zombie that a player is struggling to defeat. It's just not right. But I am excited to see the final product of the game, and hopefully they don't mess up the smoothness of how the game play by adding all these new features. Dying Light 2 have big shoes to fill, and I'm planning on covering the game on my channel. So if you are a person who's looking to stay up to date with Dying Light 2, consider subscribing. Remember to hit one of those engagement buttons, and with that being said, I'm your host, Mr. Unleashed, and welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.